What's up everyone, and thank you for choosing to learn with LAM. Today is a super important lesson on stoichiometry, so I hope you're ready to do some learning. I'm going to be breaking up the lesson on stoichiometry into a few videos, so this video is going to be about the basics of stoichiometry and how to set up questions in a neat and easy to solve way. Stoichiometry is the study of the quantitative relationship between reactants and products, which is really just a fancy way of saying we're trying to figure out how much reactant we need to make a certain amount of product and how much product we can make from a certain amount of reactant. Now let's jump right into a sample problem so I can show you how to set up your solution. The equations you'll need for this example are the mass to mole equation and mole ratios. And the question is, what mass of hydrogen do you need in order to create 100 grams of water? The first thing we need to do in any stoichiometry problem is create a balanced chemical equation. So for the formation of water, we have H2 plus O2 makes H2O. I'm going to space these out because I'm going to be writing a lot of information underneath, and I also need to make sure I balance this equation. Once that's done, I need to list what I'm given and what I'm looking for. So I've got 100 grams of water and I want to know my mass of hydrogen. I'll put a question mark there. I look at this like a roadmap. It's hard to figure out what to do if you're not sure where you're going. The columns here help keep me organized because I'm going to be working with a lot of different masses and moles, and I want to know which is which. And notice that I always include the variables in my step work. This way, even if I'm completely lost about what I need to do next, my variables can tell me what equations I can use. Now, at this point, it might be tempting to try to ratio the mass of water over to hydrogen and we'd be done. The problem is that we can't ratio over masses because they don't match our mole ratios. This means that the next thing we need to do is find moles. We'll use our mass to mole equation here as shown above, so 100 grams divided by 18.02 grams per mole gives me 5.55 moles of water. Just a quick note that you do not include the coefficient in your molar mass calculations. Now, moles of water is great, but the truth is that I don't really care about water. I need to know about hydrogen. So we need to jump columns, and the only way to do that is by using our mole ratios, which we get from our coefficients. So our mole ratio here is 2 to 2, and we're going to set up our mole ratio on the arrow the same way we always do. If you want a quick refresher on mole ratios, please check out the mole ratio video in the links below. But all in all, this gives me 5.55 moles of hydrogen. From here, I need to find mass. So I'm going to use the equation mass equals moles times molar mass, meaning I need the molar mass of hydrogen, which is 2.02 grams per mole. And from there, I plug my moles and molar mass into my equation, and I get 11.2 grams of hydrogen. And I'm just going to box my answer to make it easy to see. Another great thing about doing stoichiometry this way is that we can easily switch over to another question using the exact same setup. For example, what if there was a second part of the question asking what mass of oxygen you need to create 100 grams of water? Well, all I have to do is edit my roadmap, place the unknown mass in the oxygen column, and we can repeat the whole process. Notice that the calculation of moles for water hasn't changed, but because we're now dealing with oxygen and water, our ratio becomes 1 to 2, which means we only need 2.775 moles of oxygen. From there, I am again calculating the mass, so I'll need molar mass of oxygen gas, which is 32.00 grams per mole, and solving for mass, we get 88.8 grams. And that's it for basic stoichiometry. I highly encourage you to be as consistent with your setup as possible because it will be important to stay organized as the questions get more and more complicated. As always, if you have any questions, please leave them in the comments. Good job, everyone. If you find that you need a little extra help, please feel free to check out my other videos for tips and tricks on how to succeed in school. And as always, thanks for learning with LAM.